We talked in the show about whether the Celtics can repeat. Obviously, they can. Should they? Probably. Probably. They dominated the whole league and they're the best team coming back and they bring everything back. So why shouldn't they? Well, I'm going to tell you who the X factor is. And I don't typically even love the term X factor because I think there's so many for so many different situations. Like if you didn't have Drew Holiday on the team last year, you weren't winning the championship. You just weren't. But yet you look at the finals and you're like, my God, look how good Kristaps Porzingis played in game one. They could not defend him. And he wasn't really healthy after that. And look how big a difference it made for the Celtics. So you could argue he was the X factor. Well, Jayson Tatum's the best player. How is he not the X factor? Well, the finals MVP was Jaylen Brown. Is he not the X factor? So many different guys you could throw out there. But I think what could be key to all of this is finals MVP Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown holds the key to the Celtics winning a second straight NBA title. And it's really about how he bounces back from this summer. Okay? He's at the peak of his career, right? He wins the conference finals MVP, the NBA finals MVP, and finally it seems Jaylen Brown is out from underneath this shadow that has been put on him. You know, that he's not Jayson Tatum, that he's overrated, that he doesn't deserve the contract that he has. He broke out from that. He finally has the reputation of the Mamba big time player that he has always hoped for and maybe has done at other levels. He has that in the NBA now. I think he's got the respect of the league. I think everyone around the league watching the postseason was saying, damn, how did this guy not make the All-NBA team again? Like, seriously? And right after that gets solidified and his legacy is there, he's the NBA champ, he's the NBA Finals MVP. Right after that, he gets snubbed from Team USA. And the media starts making it a big deal. And then Jaylen Brown makes it a big deal. He's very public in thinking that he should have made that team, that there is something outside of basketball that might have prevented him from making that team. Put on the tinfoil hats, if you will. But if the Celtics are going to be the great dynastic Celtics rather than a one-off great team, it will be because of Jaylen Brown. He has had, obviously, heavy criticism in the past, and he has been someone who, like a Kevin Durant, has been open about that. Whether you want to say it got under his skin, I mean, you could argue that. A lot of other athletes don't make this much noise when they get this much criticism. And where it was probably loudest was after the last year's playoff exit, the 2023 conference finals. He can't dribble with his left hand. He is a shell of himself in that game 7 after Tatum gets hurt because Miami knows he can't dribble with his left hand and he keeps turning the ball over. And my God, I mean, the memes, the jokes, the punchlines, the videos on Twitter and Instagram, it was all over the place. Jaylen Brown, liability, can't dribble with his left hand. He's not that guy. How are you going to sign this guy to a supermax extension? And they did. Celtics signed him to the richest contract in the history of the NBA. And then those jokes and those punchlines got louder. It was, oh my God, this is going to be the worst contract in NBA history. This is going to be such a flop. This Celtics team will never get it right. They probably just should have traded him to a team like Houston, or let him walk a year later and not give him this massive extension. And last year, it was noted, it was said, this could have gone one or two ways. Jaylen Brown could have tried to press and become, an Allen Iverson type player. Jaylen Brown could have tried to prove too hard that he was worth that money and was not going to be a team player, or he could have made himself better in every facet of the game, become a better team player, a better creator, a better defender, and be a super integral part of a championship team and prove that he was worth that contract. He did the latter. He didn't say, "Oh, I've made my money now. I'm just going to have fun playing this game." He said, "No, I want a championship." And he went out there and he did everything to improve his game in order to get to that. And I have a ton of respect for that, man. I mean, his points per game go down, but his shooting efficiency goes up, both in 2-point and in 3-point and effective field goal shooting. They all go up. He's averaging more assists per game than he ever has in his career. And you can watch the games. I mean, he is a better creator than he ever has been. And so, yeah, it's wild that he didn't make the All NBA team. I mean, you look at it, he is taking less field goals per game and becoming a more efficient shooter. Dropped from almost 21 shots a game to 18, and now he's a 50% shooter. You know, his effective field goal percentage went up big time, 550 to 557. That's up from 541 in 2022. That's a big time. So, okay, he averages 3 less points per game. Who cares, man? He also cut down his turnovers, half a turnover a game for a guy with the ball in his hands a lot. That's the other thing, is now he's having the ball in his hands more a lot. So you see the turnover numbers, and it doesn't go down a ton. It goes down, but you also got to factor in this guy is in a more playmaking role than he ever has been. So Jaylen Brown to me is the key, because now he's going through a summer of criticism again. And I think he's learning that he might never escape a summer of criticism. Clearly, like no matter how good it gets, there's always going to be something that they're going to nitpick you about, Jaylen. You just won the NBA championship. You were the finals MVP. And still there's going to be something like a Team USA stub that's going to make people doubt why, what Jaylen Brown is. And he posted the pictures that I think every Celtics fans loved the other day with him working out in the pool. He's got the dumbbell in one hand, the basketball in another, the basketball in the left hand, by the way. And Kevin Garnett is tweeting, "Oh boy, they got him underwater. Shit's going to get real. Shit might be over for everybody," is what he said. And Jaylen said it this week. "We got the target on our back. Everyone's trying to come after us." I'm like, come on. The man's locked in. The man is locked in. And so a couple years ago, if this summer had happened to Jaylen Brown in 2021 or 2022, I would have been like, oh boy, no, this is not good. The guy's going to get Twitter fingers. He's going to get too upset about this. And it's going to be something that lingers over this team forever. But after what we saw last year, when he signs that massive contract and then plays like an all NBA player, I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm worried about everyone else in the league, because I believe this guy is going to come in and say, I'm going to prove everyone wrong again. I'm not going to do it by putting up 40 points a game. I'm going to do it by being the best team player I can be, and we're going to run through everybody again because we got the same team. We're going to run this shit back. Jaylen Brown is the key. You need people to be healthy. You need Tatum to still be Tatum. You need White to still be White, and Holiday to still be Holiday, and Porzingis to be out there. But Jaylen Brown is the key to whether this team has the secret or not, to use Bill Simmons' terms. The disease of more that he so elegantly outlines in the book of basketball. This team should not have that. And if anyone's going to have it, it's going to be Jaylen Brown. Or Jayson Tatum. Maybe Jayson Tatum is trying to prove too much after not playing a lot in the Olympics. Or maybe, just maybe, they will play together like they have their whole careers. And will make their teams better at every turn, just like they did last year and won the NBA title. At least that's my opinion. What's yours? Drop that down in the comment section below, or leave us a voicemail. We'll have the phone number in the description of what you think is the key to the Celtics team repeating and who that player might be and what you expect from Jaylen Brown this year. I see a more mature Jaylen Brown. As much as he was on Twitter and throwing out conspiracy theories, or throwing out theories, sorry, don't want to say conspiracy theories, throwing out theories on social media this summer, I think there is a different Jaylen Brown than there was 2 or 3 years ago. And we're going to see that on the basketball court again because he was the deserved finals of MVP. You could make a good argument for Tatum after that last game especially, but yeah, Jaylen Brown deserved to be that guy, and he will be that guy in the future. And if he is that guy, the Celtics have a very, very, very good chance of repeating as NBA champs. This is the Cam Show, powered by...
We are Rogue Media Sports.